welcome to Pre-Match Focus with your host, me, Tim.
And me, Lee. How you doing, mate? Right?
Hi, mate. How are you?
Yeah, tiring week again, but there's no change to that from other weeks, really, because it's just adult life now, isn't it? With parenthood life and working life. So
Sure is. Nothing changes. It just seems to every day seems to mingle into one as well.
it does indeed. And hopefully getting into it feels like we're getting a bit too much football again at the moment, doesn't it? We've been having a fair bit in the week again, so
yeah.
Hopefully we're going to get that nice flow of games going on and that now.
Yeah, it'll be ease out again now, straight through to the end of the season, won't it? So, plenty of games though.
There is some tasty ones there, and very tasty ones this week.
Very. Starting with, as we record always on Thursday evenings, starting tomorrow night, Friday the 21st of January, at 8 o'clock at Vicarage Road is Watford at home to Norwich. What are we saying, Leroy?
Well, 6-pointer, isn't it? Massive 6-pointer. Battle of the Yellows. I was going to say yellow and black, but then Norwich are yellow and green, aren't they?
Yeah.
The way I see it going is, Watford, I think they are Norwich's bogey team. I think they've won the last 5 meetings as well against them. So I don't think I've even backed Watford to win this season. So if we had a table of my predictions, I don't think they'll even win one. So I think I owe them one, and I've gone for Watford to win this game because of their history against Norwich. Yeah.
I thought about it. I thought about it long and hard, and I was swaying that way. But I also came back to a draw. I think Norwich is starting to have some slight belief that they could actually stay up. And the importance, I'm sure Dean Smith's telling them the importance of this game. This, as you say, is a 6-pointer. This is a massive, massive, massive game, especially when you've got, Newcastle and Leeds. Oh.
Yeah, another tasty one down there as well. That to me is probably going to be the game of the weekend. I said when we got to it, but
we'll come to that. So I've gone 1-1.
I've gone 2-1 Watford. Really, your prediction will probably come right because neither of them can really afford to lose.
That's what I thought.
Do you think it's the end of Ranier if he loses that game? Surely so. They won't have no faith in him if he loses that.
He's definitely teetering on the edge, isn't he?
Yeah, it's not been a good. I mean, apart from that Leicester season aside, he's not really set the world alight in management, has he? So,
not really. I don't know. I reckon they might give him another game grace.
Yeah, like I said, I think. Well, Norwich sort of beating Everton last week sort of ended Benitez at the end, didn't it? I think a lot of teams will see that as, if you're losing to the favourites to go down, even though they are 18th at the moment, but there's a lot of games in hand on them.
He was doomed to fail, mate. He was just never going to succeed there.
Yeah.
He should have done, but he was never going to.
Yeah, so... Yeah, it was a strange appointment in the end anyway, but look at the amount of world-class managers that have gone to Everton, and that even they can't get it right there, can they?
It's a funny one. It's like Moyes is like the most successful in modern times.
Yeah. Well, look, he's been given the time at West Ham, and then he's sort of got it right there now, hasn't he? So I know
United fans will be kicking themselves.
Yeah, if you'd have given 3 or 4 years, you might have won the title in that time, no?
Following on from Ferguson as well.
I know. Well, he was under the same situation, wasn't he, Ferguson, when that happened? So he was close to sack himself, wasn't he? But they gave him a few years, didn't they, until there was that
Robbins
close.
saved him.
Yeah, Mark Robbins, who's a manager of 8 down at the lower leagues, does great job. So it'd be great to see him as a Premier League manager one day, but it'll never happen
Yeah,
unless he gets Coventry promoted.
Yeah.
But we're going to see Everton manager situation when we get to their game.
What's your tip for that then?
I've started off with my old favourite. I'll be both score, no draw. So I've gone for the 2-1 prediction. Both fairly leaky defenders. I don't think Watford kept a clean sheet this season. So Norwich, they don't really convince me away from home. But if Watford can't defend, then surely if Norwich can't score in this game, they'll probably won't even score away from home again.
Yeah, I think they're going to score, and I've got to say I want to be 1-1. But yeah, I think if it is going to go one way, it's going to go that way. I think you're absolutely right. So
we'll see. Yeah, I think again, these are the type of games I love to sit and watch because they'll just be really feisty. Hopefully end to end because they both got to go for it.
Oh, it'll be open.
Yeah. That's sort of what I sort of ran the area down to set Watford up for. Can you hear that? My fire alarm going off.
You said on fire, right?
The wife's burning the bacon again.
Oh, good. Right then, so let's move swiftly on. So the early kickoff, which is 12:30 on the Saturday, 22nd of January, is Everton at home to Aston Villa.
Yeah, speaking of good games over the weekend, these are usually crackers. These ones are. I remember.
Coutinho returns.
Yeah, should be in line for his debut, shouldn't it? Did he play against United? Yeah. Oh, did he play?
Yeah.
Oh, he did, didn't he? Yes, I remember saying. And then Coutinho come on, didn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, he should be straight back up against the Everton faithful. It'd be interesting because there was applauding him before he left, wasn't there? So I don't think they'll blame Dino. I don't think he'll get a bad reception because clearly Benitez was the one who's thought he had the option to get him out there, thinking he'd be there.
Really bizarre that, and then letting him go, and then sacking the manager after. It's like,
yeah. I mean, I'm not too sure on the does he Ukrainian left back that they brought in. But he was very lucky not to make an absolute hole on his debut.
I seen it. Yeah, I know. I was like, oh dear.
And I've never seen anyone shit themselves so much on the pitch because he was like,
who is he passing to there? Like, it's like,
honestly, I think he must have thought his goalkeeper was in Norwich's colours or something.
I thought he saw a mirage or something.
He'll be playing for him next season if he don't book his ideas up on there. Finding the right player there. You use the cracking games these are, and I think it's a perfect time for it to be a great game as well because I really enjoyed watching Everton under the 4 games that Ferguson had them in before Ancelotti came in.
Exactly. Ferguson, I tell you what, Ferguson's going to add some grit into this team now, and they'll be fighting, and he won't have it. That's one thing that'll definitely happen. So you've got him, you've got Gerrard on the other side, who demands the same.
And obviously he's a rival club as well, so from his Liverpool.
I hope your tips like over 45 booking points.
Well, it could be, but you could put anything on this. I've gone with something else. It was actually on your game, but I've had that one on.
All right.
We'll get to that point in a bit, but yeah, it definitely could be. But I think Gerrard will want his players to keep a cool head.
Yeah.
Really, I should be thinking that if it was Benitez in charge, then I'd have no doubt about a Villa win for this one. But I've gone for it to be a draw, so I just think if he can get Everton playing the way they did under the time he had them a couple of years ago, then they'll really want to play. And he has said he's told them a few home truths, hasn't he? So and he told them players to play like they're a fan who's just been dragged onto the pitch and saying, you know, use your opportunity to play at goodness and give it your all.
That should be a given for a footballer anyway.
Yeah, it should, but it's not anyway because of money these days, basically, isn't it? So
crazy. So, what are you saying then?
I've gone 1-1.
I've gone 2-2.
I was going to go 2-2, but then I looked at it, I thought I've had a lot of twos this week. So. But I'll say I think Gerrard will try and set them up hard to beat, though obviously try and they've got the quality up top to get a goal.
Creating chances, Villa though. God blimey, it would be endless against us.
It's going to be a real, I'll say a force, but they're going to be up there again next season, I think.
Yeah, few signings and that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know he's knocking on a bit now, but Suarez, I'd have him for a year at any club in the Premier League. He's an handful, isn't he?
Is that what they're on about?
I think he's just quite, yeah. Luis Suarez has been linked. Obviously, it could be lazy journalism because of, they'll just link everything to Gerrard.
Everything being Liverpool, yeah.
Yeah, Carragher's signing as well at the end of the season.
And John Anarita.
Another left back. They'll probably just link everyone under the sun who's ever played with him or was the younger. You'd probably get Raheem Sterling linked in the summer or something like that.
Yeah, well, to be honest, it wouldn't put them past him.
Nah.
Yeah.
I've probably just give him an idea now.
That's not a bad shout, you know that. Somewhere where could afford his wages and still in the Premier League and a chance to do fairly well. I think that's a shout, that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see once. I mean, Sterling seemed to have had a little bit more of a run, didn't he, with City? So he'll probably still see him be there next season, I'd imagine. But there was rumours like Newcastle were linked with him, weren't they? So if Newcastle can be linked with him, then I'm sure Villa can. That depends if they. I mean, look at what they've got up top now. Though I think it's sort of like sorting out. I think McGinn's been linked with Man U, hasn't he?
He's been linked with Man U as well.
Who has, sorry?
He keeps being linked with us as well.
Oh, he keeps, yeah, he has been for a while, yeah.
Yeah. So going in anyway, what's your tip for this one?
It's nice and simple. Both teams score on this one
as well. Get on. Right, so on to the 3 o'clock kickoffs. We've got Brentford at home to your Wolves.
Yeah, I've mentioned the Brentford Wolves game from the last time all the way up until this point, haven't I? So.
Hunter Janssen, your favourite man.
Oh, he makes an introduction into the tips.
Just can't let it go, can you?
It's tough to play well against Man United, didn't they? Brentford. But obviously, a little bit of quality up top just shone through for United in the end.
It was definitely a game of two halves. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Brentford played very, very well for staff. Very well.
Yeah, I'd like.
Second half, to be honest, they still played well.
They are a fairly tough team to. I think they have lost a few games at home, but I think once the crowd's behind them, they'll make it because it's quite. Even though it's a new stadium, it's still quite compact, isn't it, to the fans?
Yeah.
I think I've gone for 0-0 on this one. Because I think at times we have these funny games where we'll go to places like this, like when we went to Norwich, and we just struggled to really create any clear-cut chances. And I think it's the same could happen here. We've got to be careful about our balance in defence. I mean, we got beaten. We got beaten for the first time in weeks from an absolute. It's one of the best goals I've seen at Molineux. From Ward-Prowse's free kick.
That were a great strike, that.
I mean, my stand that I sat in was just like stunned in silence, but just I think he did admiration that how well he shot as well. But a few applause came around for him. But I think we got a bit nervy then because that took it to 2-1. So I don't think we wanted to show too much appreciation. I'm sure he'd have probably got a few people in our stand standing up if it was 3-0 up and he'd done that in the 90th minute.
I tell you what, I don't understand why some of the biggest teams in the Premier League ain't looking at James Ward-Prowse. And United
with him, he's if it wasn't for his dead ball, you see a lot of people saying he's fairly average, to be honest with you. He's a hard-working midfielder, but I think...
He works hard. He works ridiculously hard. He's got an engine on him.
Yeah.
He breaks up and he releases the ball quick because he's good with the ball. He gets the ball on his way really quickly, and you need that. He kind of sets the tempo in a lot of ways for Southampton. When he receives that ball on the edge of the area, when he's broken down, edge of his own area, he's out with it. Boom. And I like that. And
yeah. He's, I don't know, to be fair, apart from the set plays, with terms of them going forward, I didn't see much of him, to be honest. I can see where people are coming from with their assumptions of it. Didn't really dictate so much of the game, but it's from what I'm seeing in one game, isn't it? So
yeah,
I'll turn around and say he does that every game. So yeah, but back on, we'll go to the Southampton one in a bit.
So
hopefully we'll get our revenge and get a 1-0 and time waste for 10 minutes on them. But I just get a feeling it might just be that sort of Norwich type performance where we just struggle to really break them down.
1-1 me.
1-1. Yeah. I think it could be very well be a draw. I can't see where many goals are coming from.
It's got a draw all over it, that.
I'd like a win. I'd like a nice win. That is. So I said at the start when we started doing this show that I was more comfortable in this away, and now I've completely changed. Now I'm like, I'm a homeboy now. Homeboy.
Homeboy.
But now it's all about, trying to pick up some points, some wins away. Not just points, because that could include a point. I want us to start winning convincingly away from home again.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, like the Man U performance, that was convincing, but we left it a bit late, and it wasn't an absolute, murdering, was it? So in terms of the scoreline,
just got to keep doing what they do, and what they have been doing, because to be honest, it's so effective, and they just need to not fear certain grounds.
Yeah.
And play their own game rather than trying to play to suit or defend against somebody else's game, if you know what I mean.
Well, we have usually, since we've had our takeover, I think we go to certain clubs like this. So Brentford are probably seen as one of the smallest clubs in the Premier League now in terms of everything around them. And when I was growing up watching us as a Championship club, we'd beat someone like, when Man City were down there, who were seen as the big boys in there at the time, and then next week we're going to lose our own 1-0 to Crewe or something.
United, mate.
I think it's mentally scarred many Wolves fans for, we were going to beat Man United away, but then we're going to lose to Brentford away just after. It's still in the back of our mind. I'd advocate never leave us.
So what's your tip then on your game?
Tippy, I mean, like if it was coming back to Molyneux, I'll definitely think. But if we're going to next season one, I think he's going to get booked there if he's playing Pontus Jansson. I've had him to be booked. I've had him to be booked. I'm just hoping he sort of plays up to the crowd again, because I will give him some stick.
He's going to hunt you down him.
He's going to give him. He's
going to point you out in crowd. Like.
I won't be there in London, though. Luckily for him. And I've had Matinho to be booked if you want an alternative.
I'll tell you what, you've got some kind of agenda against him, you.
No, I'm just waiting for him to get it, because he will do it. He's like a little terrier. He will go and kick someone.
Yeah, he definitely will. Yeah. Right then, so the second of the 3 o'clocks is, as we say, probably a game at weekend, and I'm looking forward to this more than any. Leeds at home to Newcastle.
Yeah, it's going to be my prediction for game of the weekend. Usually when we say that, it ends up being the worst one, doesn't it? But I hope that Newcastle sort of bring that energy that they brought against United, knowing that they've got to try and get something here, because even though Leeds got a probably for me the result of the season last week in terms of what it meant for them what could mean for them at the end of the season and staying up. To go and beat West Ham with a depleted team, and that's got some of the main guys back, but you know, it's a depleted squad because you don't know half those players on the bench as a neutral. And they played someone else. I think it was Yelders. Remember John?
Yeah.
Yelders. Yeah. He has played for Forest. His son played at left back.
Ah, get on.
I think he come on.
Do you know what? That's where I knew the name from.
Yeah. I looked, as soon as I saw him on the pitch, I was like, I know that name. So I typed him in and he turned out he was the son of him. See,
that's crazy.
Typical Scandinavian blonde hair. And yeah, he did all right, to be fair, did really well, considering he'd been thrown in the deep end against a team that picked up the form again.
I'll tell you what, they did really well, Leeds. A great game, that.
But they're one of the best teams to watch going forward. I think they've sort of lost that mojo a little bit at times, but I think the injuries haven't helped them at all. But
no, absolutely.
I mean, Jack Harrison's, for me, one of the most underrated wingers. Even before this hat-trick come in, he's very direct, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He knows what he's. You see what City saw in having him, and they made a profit on him.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think he's sort of like, he's not old, he's quite young, but you know,
but he was a City graduate, wasn't he?
Yeah. But we didn't hear of him till late, so I think he might have had a loan spell in Australia or something like that, and then he come back. And then, or was it America? Might have gone to America. But he come back, and then Leeds obviously had him for a couple of seasons loan and signed him permanent. And gets his first hat-trick, and it's a really good player. I like him, I do, Jack Harrison.
Definitely.
Shows what threat they've got on both sides, obviously Rafinha, the main man.
Yeah, honestly, they look good. Even Dan James is starting to play a bit better. But
he's just getting the actual proper run of games, isn't he, I suppose? I mean, he did have an all right run at United, but there's a lot of pressure on you as well. I don't know why it is sometimes, because obviously you'd think that Man U have the better players around him, but maybe it's more the individuality of Man United players rather than maybe there's just more of a team spirit at Leeds that pushes him on a bit more.
He stood like a sore thumb though at United.
Yeah, to be fair with you, Pace, he remember when I mentioned about Antonio being one of the worst performers, he's one of the worst I've seen down there, Dan James. Just falling it, but that was just him trying to simulate all the time, try and win free kicks.
He's so quick, but we didn't play to his strengths. And when we did, there were no end product. He'd be like, oh.
Yeah. It was almost like your typical what you see at school type thing, isn't it? You know, like where it's all about pace, and then they don't think of anything else.
He's quick. Oh no, I've got to be scared of him. 19 shots later, he bags one.
Almost like a Dharma in a way, but he's got a.
Hey, he got it. He did well though. Good old Dharma.
Yeah. I should have mentioned that in the Wolves one. Really, there's a cracking finish. You know, it's amazing what you can do when you steady yourself in front of the goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you see his miss just before it as well? Where I mean, if he'd have missed that one again just after, I think the crowd would have been on his back. Because he missed the open goal where he just put it over the ball. Yeah. His great composure on the second one, took it really well. Because he steadied himself, he took his time, got himself into the position. Lovely goal. Probably just getting there in time for his move to Spurs now, isn't it?
Yeah, do you reckon he'll go?
I think it's looking more likely very well. They've had a big rejected today because Daniel Levy's been a stingy bugger again. Putting 15 million for him. We signed him for 18. We're not going to sell him for 15.
No. He's definitely a 30-odd million player, isn't he?
I can understand if there was 6 months left on his deal, but he's gone for 18 months. So, yeah, you've got to be looking at 30, near to 30 for him.
Definitely 30.
Sort of frustrating, but we didn't sell him last season because he was being touted about for 70, 80 last
season. 60
60
million I heard last year.
Yeah. And he was awful last season in terms of like his productivity to the goals. Mm-hmm. It was the year before that really excelled him, I think. But...
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
one of those.
Right then, next up.
What was on there? What was we on there? Oh yeah, I've gone 2-2. Sorry, Leeds,
Newcastle. I've gone 2-2 as well.
Over 2.5 goals tip.
Over 2.5 goals. Right then. So the last of the 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday is my team, Man United, at home to West Ham.
Yeah. I think we're sort of seeing. I think we'll sort of see Man United pick up a bit of form. I think that done them well good to get a sort of convincing scoreline win against Brentford. West Ham probably feeling a bit sore after that defeat to Leeds, I'd imagine. And it's going to be. I mean, West Ham sometimes just come and spoil the party of United.
That's the problem. They've done it for a long time, and
I think they've. I think that was mainly under Mourinho, wasn't it? There was hurting you a little bit, wasn't they? But
done it for a long time. Even when Blackburn won the league that year, we lost to we drew.
Drew, yeah, I remember.
Drew with West Ham.
And they was playing Liverpool, weren't they?
And Liverpool, yeah, and Blackburn played Liverpool and they lost. Liverpool won. So if we'd have won, we'd have won
Liverpool won for you.
Crazy.
It's going to go one of either way. I mean, you say this for every game. You go one of either way. You're going to get the reaction from West Ham, where, I mean, everyone's going to up the game to play Man United anyway, regardless of how bad they might have been this season. You know, everyone wants to beat United, don't they?
I think West Ham will be well up for it. Moyes will definitely be well up for it.
Yeah, definitely. I think United will win this game. I think you'll start seeing a little bit more consistency in results again there, and the goals will start slightly coming back. He sort of resolved an issue with Martial. Whether he'll play, I don't know, but at least he's.
I'm loving the fact that he's playing Elanga on one side and Rashford and Greenwood on the other.
Elanga's a good kid. He played against Wolves at the end of last season, scored, didn't he?
Against you, yeah.
Yeah, he had a few good chances before that. Yeah. But yeah, it's good that he's giving players like that the chance. Then what was Ronaldo's issue in the week with?
To be honest, he turned around to him in the end and just said, "Listen, it's sad. You've got to take some people off, and obviously you just come back, and we need you for the weekend, kind of thing. West Ham, you're going to play the full night probably."
Maybe he's just frustrated that he's.
Yeah, because the thing is, the game had started opening up a little bit then at that stage. So he probably thought, I can see myself getting a goal. So we hooked him off. But
he seemed all right with him after Rashford scored, didn't he?
Yeah, it was the right call. It was absolutely the right call. Ralph got it absolutely right. He got the whole game absolutely right. The worst decision he made, though, was bringing Harry Maguire on. And as soon as Maguire comes on, it starts going really shaky. Everyone's confidence just goes. They change completely. He's such a bad fit for that team. And no one has the confidence in him, I don't think. He just makes everything worse. And we should never have conceded. David De Gea had a game of his life. Fantastic again.
People saying that obviously with Jose Sarr, I think Gary Neville picked Jose Sarr as his sign of the season, but didn't put him in his team of the season.
He reminds me of De Gea.
Yeah. I think he's got, for Sarr, but he's older than when De Gea came over. He seems to command his box a lot better. I think he still does now, to be honest with you. But
his distribution's better than De Gea's as well.
Yeah. It seems like, we was really concerned when we saw him, thinking, we've lost Patricio here. And to be honest, I've lost a bit of Roma this season, and Patricio seems like he's lost it a little bit. So he made a great call on that.
Mm-hmm.
I see with this game, I see United just scraping a 2-1 win. I think West Ham will improve on the performance from the Leeds game, because as I said, they'll be up for it. But I think Man United will nick the win. I just see a little bit.
De Gea masterclass again.
It might do. They're going to have to be careful, aren't they? Because Bowen. I think that was on my tips last week. He'd score, and he did manage to hit the back of the net, didn't he? He has been
David
for
De
weeks
Gea
and weeks.
one clean sheet away from equaling Gary Bailey's clean sheet record for Manchester United.
Really?
Yeah.
Have they got more than Schmeichel in that then?
Yeah.
Has they?
Yeah.
Mind you,
one game to equal him. So I've gone 1-0 United. Come on,
he's
Dave.
going to get that record. Yeah. The tip I've gone for is over 45 booking points. So basically 10 points to yellow, 25 if you get the red.
Yeah.
Reason being, John Moss is the ref. He's a little bit quiet. He had a game in the week. He was a little bit quiet. I think it was the Leicester Tottenham game he had. He's a little bit quiet with dishing out his cards, so expect.
He's due one.
Expect him to be on form and dishing out cards in this game.
Righty ho then. Right, so on to the 5:30, which is Southampton at home to Man City. Should be a good game as well, though, Leroy.
Yeah, Southampton really went. I mean, when I've never seen a team get so many corners in the first 10 minutes of a game. I think they had about 7 corners against us in the first 10 minutes. It was like relentless. And you've got the best dead ball specialist in England, probably in these deliveries.
Balls,
Jesus Christ.
yeah.
So Jesus, they're going to score off one of them. I'm just glad they didn't have Vestergaard, I think, because he probably scored an hat-trick in the first 10 minutes. Luckily, he's at Leicester.
He's a shocker for Leicester, though. He hasn't looked anything there.
Yeah. I mean, well, to be honest, when he started out at Southampton, I wasn't convinced by him. Then he sort of found his feet a little bit, and he's been a bit hit and miss with injuries there, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Well, anyway, go on. So Southampton and City.
I'd like to see Southampton win the game to make the Premier League a bit more interesting. But even if Southampton win this game, then I think the title's over already anyway, because Chelsea and Liverpool just
falling off a
cliff here. I hate it when it gets like this. I want the title to be going down to the last day.
I was thinking it was going to be like 3-way all the way to the end. I thought this could be like really better than the 2-way, which we saw with Liverpool and City the other year. Thought could be proper tight this, and no.
It's been really disappointing from Chelsea and Liverpool, especially after promising starts to make it look like it was going to be a memorable season.
Yeah.
It looks like we'll all be watching Survival Sunday this season again, maybe. But they're quite good to watch, to be fair. I probably would, if it come down to both, I probably would watch a Survival scrap over Champions.
Yeah, me too. Me too, most of the time. I do like it. It's got boring over the years, though, if you think about it. Like, most of the title wins are kind of nearly done early.
Yeah. So, I mean, Guardiola's title wins have all been boring.
Apart from the Liverpool one.
Yeah.
I'll take
that one back.
Brilliant. That was probably the most exciting that I've seen as to be a neutral watching like two teams, like they both should have won it. You couldn't have picked it out like that, but it's what it was.
Was that the season when they won it over Liverpool? Was that the one where they went 1-0 down? Some like was it Brighton?
Yeah.
And that was a bit of eye up, but then I even looked at my betting page on the day. I think there's still about 5-1 on to win it, and there was 1-0 down. So I was like, that they know what's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, most of them have been. I mean, even though they've played some of the best football you'll probably see, it's just been boring come the end of it. I just want. I think this will only happen when Guardiola goes. I think.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think he's sort of like got the knack of it now. So I thought I just deleted all my results. I just pressed something on my phone. I thought I got rid of everything, so it's off the top of my head.
Don't want to do that, Leroy. Right, so what are you saying anyway?
I think City will win 2-0.
I think they'll win 2-1. I fancy it. I fancy Shea Adams' goal, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like when you said the score, I mean, to be honest with you, if that wouldn't have struck, they wouldn't have scored last week, but they had the chances. I just think you'll just see City just stroll through it now, to be honest with you. Might be the odd defeat on the way, but
they've not even got into second gear yet.
I know. They haven't really been annihilating teams. They had a little spell where they've scored 4, 5, 6 maybe, but they haven't been doing it on a more consistent basis. I think they'll just
They
no
could be
pressure on them.
scoring way more if they had a number 9 as well.
Yeah. I'll say if I saw an Ireland or something like that, or an inform Harry Kane, then
Yeah,
it's frightening, isn't it?
it is, yeah.
Tip
Well,
I've gone
what's your tip for that?
Tip I've gone for, you'd lose it if you had your bet to be City's keep clean sheet.
City keep a clean sheet, right? Okay. Right, on to Sunday the 23rd of January, and we've got 3 games at 2 o'clock. First one, Arsenal at home to Burnley. What are you saying then, Leroy?
It's going to be like a pre-season game. This isn't the first game of the season. They barely plays.
Yeah.
Arsenal are playing tonight. I'm not too sure. I think they was losing the last I looked in the Carabao Cup. Well, they might put all their energy into that, so it might benefit Burnley to an extent. But I can't remember the last time Burnley played, so I couldn't even tell you what form they're going to be in. So I think they're behind everyone, aren't
they? They've had a few called off, haven't they?
Yeah. Someone there put up a joke saying something like whenever the end of the season, something like usually the 30th of May, something like that, picture of Guardiola about to celebrate the title, but then it says a picture of Sean Dyche up the camera laughing like Burnley with 15 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, not quite going to happen, but I think they said if they did win all the games in hand, they'd end up in nicely in the top half of the table, considering the bottom ain't too bad. But
how many have they got in hand? 4?
I think something like that, yeah. They're going to be, I'm sure I saw today, and I only just noticed it today when I looked on the team sheets. I'm sure Maxwell Cornet's with Ivory Coast. So you're missing one of your better players, and you ain't got Chris Wood as well. I can't see Burnley giving anything, to be honest. They're going to have to put one hell of a smash and grab to take.
It's going to be just a defensive performance, and that's what I was thinking as well. And I'm going to go with a really grim 1-0 Arsenal.
I've gone 2-0. I think there'll be 1-0 for most of it, and they'll probably just finish the game off late, to be honest with you.
Yeah, maybe.
I think a bit of rustiness debate will influence to my tip for this one. There'll be a red card in the match.
Red card in the match, you heard the man? Right. Second of the 2 o'clock kickoffs is Crystal Palace at home to Liverpool.
Yeah, the team. I think Liverpool actually hate going. I mean, like, I think, did they win? I think they battered them last season in the lockdown season, didn't they? But I can't remember.
And this is a better Palace team.
Yeah. But I'm sure I saw that Liverpool won 6-0 against Palace or something like that. I'm sure it was last season when there was no fans.
Love to see Zaha against Trent.
Yeah. He won't be playing now, Zaha, will he? He's with Ivory Coast.
Oh, yeah.
I saw again another one I saw today. I completely forgot he played for Ivory Coast.
And the Ayew Albert is still there, and he's with Ghana.
They did get knocked out, and there's on about Party coming back for the weekend, so I don't know if he will be back.
Yeah, but they're going to be able to.
I don't think they'll be too worried about Jordan Ayew, to be honest.
Well, you know what I mean.
He's a hard-working player, to be fair. He just can't score, can he?
No.
Yeah, but they don't like going here, do they? Liverpool. But you mentioned, like, you know, and Zaha's missing, but you've got that Michael Elise and who's the other guy? Eze.
Yeah, and you've got Edouard
up top. So they're all an handful.
I want to be Edouard.
You're planning for when you sign him to replace Cavani and Ronaldo.
I want to sign him just so we can sing that at Old Trafford.
You just want to sign him, don't you? He's better than the strikers got now. That's what you say.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, So I think when I think of this fixture, I always think of the Dwight Gale ending their season pretty much for that title, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Under Brendan Rodgers. I always think back to that, but everything's completely changed now. Those teams are completely changed.
That was when Puncheon and that were playing, wasn't it?
Yeah. I remember, obviously, Gale was there. Even Liverpool, Gerrard was still playing for them. And seems like almost like it was yesterday, but it's actually a long time ago now.
But it's a while ago now.
It's nearly 10 years ago, isn't it?
God, blimey.
I know. I think Liverpool will not win here. I think it'll be 2-2. And I'd put that down to a little bit of their experiences there, where it hasn't been great for them, and obviously missing their
two best players.
Pretty much different story if those two were playing.
Yeah.
Jota's on fire, you know. He'll probably go and score here.
Well, I've gone for a Liverpool win, but I think they'll scrape it. I think there's going to be a VAR incident here as well.
Usually it's in every game. I'll put that one tip for every game.
Yeah. 2-1 Liverpool. But
yeah, so
I can see a draw.
Yeah. Egypt's just still in the African Cup. It was Algeria who got knocked out, wasn't it? So probably
big shot.
Yeah. I was thinking it was Egypt then, but they actually Algeria the current holders, and Egypt are the team that won it the most, aren't they?
Mahrez will be back in time a bit earlier.
Yeah, that's all right for City. They've got about 10 players who could play in this position.
Right, so what's your tip for that one, Leroy?
That one, Palace give a few corners using Liverpool. I think they're the best in the league. Them and City are the best for it, so I've got now 9.5 corners.
Over 9.5 corners. Right. And the last of the 2 o'clock kickoffs on Sunday is Leicester at home to Brighton, mate.
Well, have you ever seen anything like it? Apart from City when they won the title, I suppose. The two, I mean, to give away, it must be gutting to give away the win in the last minute, but to throw away the whole game straight away after that.
Crazy.
I know.
Crazy. I tell you what, I looked at my phone, I was like, God, blimey, Leicester are doing Tottenham, buzzing. And they were like, they weren't long left. And I thought, and I literally switched across for something else. I was watching the other game. Oh, he was watching United match.
United, yeah.
And and then finished watching all the bump afterwards. I looked again, I was like, what happened there? And then obviously I watched the highlights and I was like,
was I seeing things? Was you thinking? Was I seeing things when it was 2-1?
Yeah. Wow.
Well, look at this here. Obviously, Spurs going in for Traore. They won the Sal Bergwijn, who scored 2 goals, and he's scored more than him all season in those, in those couple of minutes. Surely he has more end product for Spurs to keep than going for Adama. That's just my picture walls to keep Adama.
I reckon he's more of an impact player, though. I reckon he's going to do that as a sub.
Yeah. I'd ask for a swap there. If we were going to get rid of Adama, we'll have him.
Be all right there.
Yeah. But we just signed the Portuguese. He's a bit of a raw talent. We signed the Portuguese winger, so I'm not sure how good he's going to be.
Who's he?
Chiquinho.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Chiquinho.
Yeah, I don't know much. I ain't even bothered looking at when there's someone you don't know about, and then they do a YouTube video because it just makes them look brilliant anyway. I ain't even bothered with them, so because they've done them for some certain players where they've been absolutely crap. So.
Yeah. I always wait and see.
Yeah. Problem for Leicester here, obviously going to be hurting. Brighton are hard to beat. Brighton have had some of the least defeats in the old division. I think Chelsea have been beaten more times than Brighton.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And they've only been defeated about 4 times. So I've gone for 1-1 here. If Leicester are really hurting, then they have had their injury problems as well. You could even see a Brighton win. So that's what, for my tip, I've gone Brighton double chance on that. So a Brighton win or a draw would win you the bet on that.
Yeah. I've gone with 2-1 Leicester.
They're going to have to pick themselves up big time, aren't they? Seems to be a really weird season. I know the injuries haven't helped, but I think Europa hasn't helped them, to be honest with you.
I agree. I definitely agree.
I know everyone.
They haven't had the squad depth for it.
Yeah.
So
I hate to make those assumptions as well, because when Wolves qualified for the Europa League, everyone was saying, they won't cope in the league now because they're in the Europa League. And I'll be first to admit, we haven't got that many players, but we was playing the same team every week.
Yeah.
We was playing them Thursdays and Sundays. I hate to make that assumption, but it's had some impact on it.
Yeah, totally. Right then. So, did you just tell me your tip for that?
Yeah, double chance Brighton.
Double chance Brighton, yeah. Right, and the last one of the round of fixtures is 4:30 on Sunday, and that is Chelsea at home to Spurs. Conte returns.
Again. Fed up of seeing this game. It's a good job that they have a final. Like, if they'd cancelled the Arsenal Liverpool, said, you sod off at the Carabao Cup now, we'll have this one as a final. After delaying the game so long.
I don't know whether all's well in the camp at Chelsea at the minute.
No, and actually, I've gone for Spurs to win this game as well. Reason being, I think when you see, let's say, Chelsea won both their legs, didn't they, against Spurs? I think sometimes when you see it happen in so much succession,
you get one which is
going to go the other way. And when you've got a world-class manager like Conte, you might just see what the problem might have been there. Problem for Conte is he hasn't really got the quality he wants at that club. They have slowly deteriorated from where Pochettino had them as a top 4 regular, didn't they? And then sort of become a 6th to 7th place, well, between 5th and 7th place team now. But obviously, they're going to top 4 with a great win. Be confident as well. I say a great win. It's just it was all lost, wasn't it, that game? And then they've just turned around and given the world of confidence again. Now they've gone and done that. So I think they'll be buzzing. And like you say, with Chelsea, a bit of disconcern in the camp. Might be able to just jump on top of them.
Chelsea. Tell you what, someone said to me not long ago, like a couple of weeks ago, I fancy United or who else do you say? So I fancy United or Tottenham to pip 3rd place from Chelsea. And I went, nah. And honestly, I could see it.
I think someone mentioned, but I think on TalkSport today on my way home was someone says I can see Tottenham finishing 3rd. But the way Chelsea are going, they're just how many points have they dropped in the last 10 or so games? They're just drawing everything, aren't they? And they're just not winning. Can't see a game out. Really weird.
Well, you know what I was saying about who I was saying that about? Well, it was about Everton. They bought the wide players, Damari Gray and Townsend, to put balls in for Calvert-Lewin, and Calvert-Lewin was missing for so many games. So that's why they were poor, in my opinion, because their outlet wasn't there.
Yeah.
What you've built is there without an end product. So, and it's the same here as well, you know. And I think for Lukaku, you've got Chilwell and Reece James, and I don't know. I presume Reece James will be back this game, but Chilwell's obviously not back. They've just struggled. Marcus Alonso, he goes forward and then he cuts back, and you're not getting any fluidity. There's no speed in the attack anymore.
He's not even getting the product up top now, is he, as well? Because he used to nip him with a few goals. He can't even score now.
No, that's it. Absolutely. So.
Yeah, I think the Spurs, it'd be the same tip as the Brighton one. I've gone Spurs double chance on this. So even if they didn't win the game, the draw would be enough to win the bet on that. I think Conte will just say the only problem for Conte is the quality of who he's got there. Because
so what are we saying? 2-1?
2-1 Spurs are gone, yeah.
I've gone 1-0 Chelsea. But the more I think about it, I think I might switch it. No, I'm going to stick with what I've done. I'm going to stick with what I'm going to stick to my guns. I've gone 1-0 Chelsea.
I think it's because I think my main influence beyond that is because it's content. I think he'll notice the things out of the 2 games.
I get that.
Then down to his players to.
I just wonder whether by third time they've got the card a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he could play on Spurs' minds that they need to beat them this time, couldn't it? There's so many assumptions you can make to every game, isn't there?
It'll be quite an open game anyway. I don't think there'll be much holding back.
Let's hope so. That's what you want on a Super Sunday, isn't it? Is it a Sunday game or is it a Monday game?
4:30.
4:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want it to be 4-3 or something, really, don't you?
The beauty of a game.
We will see.
Right then, guys. Well, that concludes this round of fixtures for this weekend, 21st, 22nd and 23rd of January. Please like, share and subscribe. Tell your mates, tell your gran, whoever likes a bit of football. And click on the bell button to keep in touch and up to date with everything that we put on there, which is every week, which sometimes twice a week. And yeah. We'll see you again for the next round of fixtures. So we will reiterate, don't put all the tips on in order, thinking that you're going to win something, because the likeliness is you probably won't. So stagger them a little bit, pick 1 or 2 out here or there, get them on their own ticket and try that. He's done fairly well when you pick out what we've got and what he's been doing throughout, obviously, the season so far. So keep it up, Leroy, and we shall see you soon. Good to see you again, Lee.
And you, mate. Take care. See you next week.
See you soon.